Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're going to be talking about how car dealerships are screwed. Why? Because their inventory is sitting on the lot longer, and that's not good for them. They don't want to have inventory sitting there for extended period of time. Why? Because then they're going to have to auction it off, and that's not how they make money. They make money by selling cars to individuals. So if you're in the market for a vehicle right now, I'm going to show you some of the things that I use to kind of get an idea how long a car's been at the dealership. Now, when you do go to a car dealership and there's a particular car you like, you can always ask them when they got that car on the lot so you can know exactly how long it's been there. But one of the tools that I use is autotrader.com. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. It's just my favorite one to go on. I go on it on a regular basis. I've been going on it for years, so I know how to work it, but there's other websites like it. So if that's not one that you're familiar with and you use another one, that's fine. They're all similar, but this is my preference. So I'm going to use this for the ones that might not be familiar with any websites, or maybe they want to try out AutoTrader. I'm going to show you how it works, and we're going to see how we can kind of get an idea what cars have been on the lot longer versus other ones. Let's go ahead and check that out. I'm going to share the screen. And I was actually on it already earlier, but we're going to go ahead and start from the beginning. That way, if you're not familiar with it, you can see how it looks. So here's the front. Now, something that I always do, I go to advanced search. And advanced search is great, especially if you want to be more specific. That way, you're not looking at cars that don't have everything that you want. You can avoid that by going to advanced. In this case, since this is just an example, and I just want to show cars that I find that you, if you're in the market right now, should go after because they're going to be more willing to negotiate because it's been sitting in a lot longer. So you would put in your zip code and how far you're willing to go. You can see you can go any distance. You can go a few hundred miles, or you can go really close to where you live. That's up to you. For this example, I'm going to leave 50. If you're wondering how far I usually go, I usually do up to 100, but that's just my preference. There's no right or wrong on that. Here you would select what you're looking for. This video, I'm going to go more for the used. So I'm going to select used. You can put your price. If there's a maximum, minimum, you can do all that. You can put what style. So if you wanted a truck, a convertible, coupe, you can specify. You put if you want a 2-wheel drive, a 4-wheel drive, and then the years. I'm going to look for stuff that's fairly new. Sorry, not 1995, but 2000. I'm going to do 2022 and up. Again, I'm not going to put a vehicle make. You could. And the cool thing is you can also compare. So let's say you wanted maybe a Toyota Camry and you want to compare it with another full-size car, like a Nissan Altima. You would put Toyota, and as soon as you put Toyota, it'll give you an option to pop up here to select, and then you can do side by side. In this case, I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to specify anything. So we'll just see everything in the area that's for sale. And I'm passing by all these, but this is just to make it more specific, like how many doors, fuel, right? And the fuel one is just like if you want diesel, gas, hybrid, you can specify. You can even put keywords here. I want leather, I want sunroof, lifted, whatever, and then you'll get cars that have those options. So, for example, if you wanted a full-size car with a sunroof, let's say a Toyota Camry, you put sunroof. That way, you should see Toyota Camrys with sunroof, and you're not wasting your time looking at cars or getting your attention to a car that doesn't even have something that may be really important to you. Now we're going to go ahead and hit search. And these are just cars in the area. You can see over 6,000 cars on the market. Now, if we would have specified, the number wouldn't be as high, but inventory is growing. Now, let's start going down. Now, when you're looking for a car, one way to get a better deal, if I see that's newly listed, I wouldn't look at that car. And reason, the dealership just got it. They got some time to try to sell it for what they want. Now, when you start seeing reduction price, that's good. That means the dealership is went ahead and reduced the price on the vehicle. And the reason they did that, it's been on the lot for a while. It hasn't been selling. So they want to get rid of it. They reduce the price. And sometimes they're doing this multiple times. And I'm going to show you how I know when they do that. But let me show you more cars. See, newly listed, and then reduction price. Again, and I've been seeing this more and more. Reduction price, reduction price. Why? Because things are slowing down and they're not selling like they used to. And you can see this by going on Auto Trader, just going on the internet, just checking on the news. Economy's definitely slowed down. And since things have slowed down, demand is not as high, prices are going to go down. It's the only way, right? If they want to sell these cars, they're going to have to reduce prices because right now there's not as much demand. Now, there's people out there that have to buy a car right now. Your car might have gotten in a car accident, engine might have blown. You have no choice. And you might be wondering, is this a bad time? I don't think it's a bad time. I think because incentives are increasing on new cars. If you have good credit, you can get a really low interest rate on a brand new car, and used cars, the prices are dropping. So if you're paying cash, then interest is not going to be an issue. If you're financing, depending on what type of used car you're looking for, you might want to go new. If you're looking for fairly new used cars. But let's go ahead and click on one of these that say the reduction price. And I can click on any of them. I don't know. I was just looking around, but let's go ahead and click on this 2023 Hyundai. So it says reduction price. So we're going to click on it. And this is what I do. It tells me right here, vehicle pricing history. This is a tool that I really like. It looks like the car was listed in 07/2/2024, so July 2nd. It was listed for $22,998. It looks about, let's say 2 weeks passed by, and they decide to reduce it. It looks like the car probably wasn't getting any attention. They said, is price too high? Let's do a reduction. And they did. And we see the day they did that, and we see what it went down to. It went down to $22,398. Now, we're in August now. They've had that car about a month, and they dropped it again, $21,998. I'm seeing this more and more, and sometimes I'm even seeing more drops. I've seen some dealerships do 3 to 4 drops. By that time, they're probably going to auction it because they haven't had any luck getting rid of it. They've reduced the price multiple times, meaning if this was a car that I'm interested in or that I want to get, this is the one I would go negotiate. Reason, I know it's been on the lot for a while. I know the dealership's done multiple price drops, and the reason they're doing that is because they want to sell the car. So they're going to be more inclined to negotiate with me as long as this is a no haggle dealership to get this car off their books. And I could see this by using Auto Trader. Now, if you want to, if for example, which I don't recommend, if you're looking at a car that was newly listed that they just got, then you can also ask the dealer too, hey, when did you get this car in? But I would stay away from those cars if you're looking to get a good deal. Because again, newly listed, they got some time to try to sell the car. And that was on the Hyundai. Let's check out some more cars. Right. And see what else we find. I am a car person, so I like to go through. But you can see here a lot of reduction price vehicles as you go through the page. And there are a lot of newly listed. Inventory is growing, so you get more listed. But all these ones that say newly listed, I wouldn't go looking for at those cars because with so many cars being on the lots longer, I would go after those. And so if you already know, like, hey, I want a Toyota Camry, for example, and you use Auto Trader or something similar, when you're looking at the Camrys that you like, go after the ones that you see multiple price drops have been at the lot for a while. And I want to show you some more. I'm just going through reduction in price. Reduction, newly listed. I'm just going to go ahead and click this Lincoln 2023. And let's go down here. Here, perfect example. So this one, look when they got the vehicle. So they got it in June 26, 2024. They listed that car at $45,213. In July 18th, so they waited a while, they reduced it down to $43,500. They decided in July 27th to reduce it again to $42,500, and now they reduced it to $42,000. So 1, 2, 3. So 3 price drops. When I see this is their max that I've seen, I've never seen any more than this. So when I see a vehicle with this many price drops, if they can't, so for example, if they can't sell at 42,000, most likely what they're going to do, they're going to auction it off. They've had that car in their inventory for over 30 days. They've had it on their books for a while. They want to get out of that car. So if I was in the market for this specific car, crossover SUV, this will be a good one to go negotiate and try to get a better deal, because they're better off selling you this car than auctioning it off, because they make money selling cars to individuals, not taking cars to auction. So this is a good tool that you can use on AutoTrader if you're looking for a car and see, okay, it's been on the lot for a while. They've done multiple price drops. That's the one I'm going to go after. The ones that say newly listed, I wouldn't pay attention. Now, that's what I would do. Those are my tips. And that's how I believe you will get a better deal. And that's what I've done, because I actually go to car dealerships a lot. I do Toro. I'm a car person. I like trading out on my cars as well. So these are just the little things that I do that help me get better deals and help me end up in good situations when I go get out of the car. And you can see a lot of newly listed. You can see inventory's growing. Here we go. Reduction in price. Basically, the majority of everything you're going to see newly listed because they just got it, and you're going to see many price drops. Let's go ahead and click on this Ford F-150. All right, so on the Ford F-150, it looks like this is their first price reduction on it, because it's not showing me the little chart on the bottom, which is rare. It usually 99% of the times it does. I didn't see it on this one. I'm not sure. And again, if you see that, then just keep searching, because you want to go after the ones that have multiple price reductions. Let's go ahead and click on the Suburban next to it. And also, if you're really familiar with AutoTrader, and if I overlooked it or something, let me know in the comments down below. Leave me some comments if you have any questions. I'll be more than glad to answer and try to help you out on your car journey. Now, this is weird. So these two, and usually this is not the case. This is weird that I'm not seeing the little chart with their price drops, because usually I do. I believe it's because this must be their first one. So let's test that out, because I've actually never run into that situation. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Here's a Toyota Corolla. There we go. The Toyota Corolla, see right here, multiple price reductions. I believe when it has their first one, they're not showing the chart. But after they have more than one, they have this little vehicle pricing history. And this is what I would look for. If you're finding a vehicle, if you are using AutoTrader and it's not showing you this vehicle history report and it's saying price reduction, that's probably just the first one. I wouldn't go after that one. You want to look for these ones that have had multiple price reductions, because it's been on their lots for a while. If it's had multiple, probably for over a month, they're more eager to get rid of this car. And this is going to help you get that better deal. And it's very important to get a good deal because a lot of us want to trade out of the car. If you want to trade out of the car and be able to do so, it's going to be very important the deal that you do, because a lot of people end up upside down. And part of the reason people end up upside down because either they finance way too long or they did a really bad deal the day they purchased a car. And of course, there's other things that can make you be upside down if you got in a car accident, bad Carfax, things like that. And of course, this only applies, right, if you're financing a car. I know some of you are like, I'm going to buy the car cash. You're buying it cash, then you're not going to be worried about being upside down, but you do want the car to hold its value. So you still want to maintain a good Carfax. And I know things happen that you can't control. Accidents happen, but those do damage the value of the car. But let's go ahead and keep looking for these reduction prices. So we've been looking at a few. We've seen some with already multiple price reductions. We see some where we didn't see the history on it. In my opinion, that's because that was their first price reduction. Here we go. We got a Toyota 4Runner here. Let's see. These Toyota 4Runners hold their values pretty well. Toyota in generally does. And it doesn't have the history. So again, if you're on Auto Trader and you're shopping around and you're not seeing that history, then I wouldn't go after that. I would look for one with the history. There's so many with reduction prices. I mean, you just see it right here. This says Peacock Ford. Both of these cars are at the same dealership. This is a Raptor. Let's go ahead. I believe, oh, a Raptor R. So let's see if we can see a history on this one. Well, I messed that up because I double clicked it. It clicked me out of it. Let's find it again. Sorry, I'm not used to the Macs. I'm using a Mac and it throws me off. All right. There's the 4Runner. Let me see. There it is. I found the truck again. All right. Here we go. Boom. Vehicle pricing history. So this Raptor R, if you were in the market, you can see this has had a pretty big price drop. I mean, they were selling it basically 135. Well, I'm just gonna say 136,000, and they've dropped it about $10,000. That's or $9,000. That's a big. So when I see things like that, I wonder what did they get the truck for? Because most likely someone traded that car in, or they bought it at auction. Now, with more expensive vehicles, this is common. Dealerships know the higher end cars, some of them are harder to sell. So they want to have more of a profit margin in there to make more money, since they're taking a bigger risk with this vehicle and they put more money into it versus a more economical vehicle. So if they could sell it at 127,000 and still make money, they probably bought that truck. And now this is just a guess. I would say 120, and they were probably trying to make $16,000 or more on the truck if they sold it. So that's a good thing to see on these higher end cars. They definitely have them marked up. And the reason I've seen on the higher end ticket cars, well, they'll do the bigger price drops. I always wonder, what did they get that car for? And the person that owned it, what was their loss? Because these Raptor Rs, if you're familiar with these trucks, their MSRP is high. And this is a fairly new one. But you can see this one's had multiple price reductions. That's what you want to go after. The ones that don't show the little chart, it seems like if it just has its first one, they still don't show that. So I wouldn't go after that. I wouldn't go after the newly listed. I would go the ones I've seen 3 or 4 price drops. Those are the ones I would go to the dealership and negotiate if I'm in the market for a car. That's just a negotiating tip if you're looking for something that's used, fairly new. It doesn't even have to be fairly new, but you see that's been on the lot for a while and they've done a few price drops. Those are the ones I recommend going after to get a better deal. And there's more and more of that. I wanted to go on Auto Trader. I didn't want to specify any vehicle. And the reason was I wanted you to see for yourself how many of these cars are saying reduction price. And you're going to see that on, if you were to pick. So if, like, for example, you're like, hey, I want a Honda Accord. You go on Honda Accord and you're most likely going to see reduction price. And those are the ones to go after. Let's see what else. Now I'm just looking for fun. I think I got the point across that there's a lot of reduction in price, and the reason for that is cars are sitting on the dealership lots longer, demand's gone down, and this is an opportunity for those of you that need a car. Now, some of you are going to say cars are too expensive, don't buy now. If you got a car that works fine and you don't need a car, if you want to wait longer to see if things get better, by all means do that. For those of you that said, hey, I'm getting a car right now, it's not a horrible time because on brand new cars, there's a ton of incentives and great interest rates on them with approved credit. And on used cars, prices are going down. So if you're buying cash, you can probably pick up a used car, at a way better price than before. They're still expensive. I know I'm going to come saying, oh, cars are still expensive. They're always going to be expensive. It's all about when can you get the best deal and if you can wait for that. And since prices are going down and dealerships are having a hard time selling cars, you're going to start picking up better deals than before. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, do me a big favor, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any questions, leave comments down below. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you on the next one.